Today I am doing a video on climate change, and I'm in Hilo, Hawaii, and we are having, this is the rainy season, but we're having an extreme rain event, and this is occurring during a time when the seas are rising and things are changing very quickly. And kind of why I'm bringing this up is it's kind of a war. It's a war of denial and discrediting. So to talk about climate change is to expect blowback or people saying that it's not true, but we are in fact impacting the environment in such a way that we're changing where we actually can live. Okay. And so I want to question via the cards, and today I will use the wild unknown, because I think the wild unknown really does speak to where we're at. But the coastal protections, how is a place, an island such as Hilo, going to survive the changing landscape? And it is changing. Right now I'm sitting at an area in the bay, and there is very little sand on the beaches right now. It's been pretty much disturbed to the point that there is no place to sit on the beach. Okay, and basically the flood readiness. What's happening is that the coastal waters and the flood waters are converging upon each other and changing the freshwater landscape as well. And what is it going to take to deal with this? Well, you know, right now we're having a massive rain event and flooding in all of Hawaii in ways that are fairly epic and not a part of our normal landscape. And what do we need to do about it? Well, the carbon footprint is kind of what probably is required, and they know that the CO2 levels are too high in the Hawaii area where they monitor on Mauna Loa. Okay, on the island itself, we are already mitigating for the trouble we have. We have to recycle our water. We recycle it, I do believe, at least 3 times. Basically, there's much to be done about it, and what are we doing about it? Okay, and I mean, there's no end to what we need to be doing right now to save ourselves, and to be in denial that there's a problem is to me a very sad reality. What are the consequences? Well, I listened to Dr. Michael E. Mann, so I must reference him. He was asking the deep questions. What is the agenda to undermine basically the culture of denial is what he was talking about. He was saying that we're conservative, and that basically as long as we are giving to the industries, particularly the fossil fuel industries, in a welfare type of way, an industry, the great puppet masters are the motivation behind the denial of climate change. But when a person has nowhere to go, when they live on an island, how can you possibly deny what's happening right before your very eyes, okay? And basically, people who participate in climate denial understand this, that what you're participating in is you are pawns. You are being mastered by the puppets that have all the money, that are maintaining a certain level of control over us. And what they know about climate change at this point is that, as Dr. Michael Mann puts it, it's a hockey stick, okay, where things were going along a certain way, and the last 150 years we have been able to monitor our surface temperatures. Well, if you consider the planet is billions of years old, us having the ability to say we have 150 years of information isn't terribly reassuring, okay? But why we know that this change is so serious is because we have other ways to look. We can use geology to understand our environment. And approximately 800,000 years ago, we had some climate evidence that would be something to akin of what we're experiencing now. So this is an 800,000 year maybe cycle. We don't know. But we do know that 800,000 years we can see tree rings, we can see corals, and we can see stalactites. So the climate information is a blade of evidence. And basically the hockey stick, it's this curve that's taking place. So in other words, the stick goes straight down, and that's been our environment as we know it. And right now that hockey stick has stopped going straight down, and it's turned, and it's kind of going back up. So basically, what is going to happen? Well, the impacts are now obvious, especially in a low-lying coastal island. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to see water is in places it doesn't belong, okay? And basically, there's a good deal of division about this. You know, people are going to say, no, it's not true, or it's this, or it's that. It's all sorts of stories, but, you know, let's not take any responsibility. And there's bots out there, you know, there's people that want to deflect and keep from taking action. There's misstatements about what action needs to be taken. There's a lot of doom and gloom, basically, and there's just plain inactions. And there's false solutions, and it is systemic, okay? This climate change issue is systemic. See, and stop kicking the can down the road. I mean, we've got to stop. We've got to stop kicking the can. It's our biggest problem right now. We can make lifestyle choices, okay? Basically, you know, living and like in our case, you know, we could probably drive back and forth to Kona every day because we could afford the gas, but we choose for the environment, and we just choose to stay local, and we choose to eat local. I choose to eat raw and fresh, okay? And there's things like this all help our planet and our circumstances. It isn't too late to change some things. It is not. Honor our international agreements, eliminate carbon, undo the undoings, okay, that have taken place. And there's another aspect that I want to talk about with this in climate change. If we are going to be a people that stopped caring about people, then you can expect the environment you live in to take very little time to care for you. Just think about that. And so I'm going to add an element to this process of conversation. When we make basically barely $15 an hour, and they're trying to get us a $15 an hour minimum wage, okay, you can't pay rent with that kind of money. And so in some ways, the money, the seed money, the fossil fuels money, the people that have money, they don't care if you live on the streets in a changing environment that's becoming dangerous. You need to care about it, because it's not something that's going to change. And as I understand it, militaries is available. You know, we have the Navy. Why do we have the Navy in the water? Is it to protect the shipping lanes for big money interest? I would say so. And it is really hard on the environment, okay? We need to level the playing field. There's lots of generalized phrases, and basically, what's true? What's your experience? What can you do about it? You know, and we can't lie to ourselves anymore. We're having fires, we're having floods, we're having devastation. We keep having these polar vortexes. You know, what are those? You know, where all of a sudden you've got 6 feet of snow in a place where cattle used to live that are now deceased because they're 6 feet under snow. I mean, since when do we have post-apocalyptic weather that, you know, and basically we need to look at this before the damage is irreversible. This coping with our new normal, our new civilization, COVID, wearing a mask, it's all relevant, okay? And they're talking about 2024, which in numerology takes us back to an 8, which is utter destruction. That's where we're going, folks. This is where climate change is taking us. The goal is to bring this to a better conclusion. Greta Thunberg has a zero carbon movement, has a blueprint. Don't give it much because, well, first we have to be introduced to the truth, then we have to act upon it, and we have to first accept that there is a truth to act upon. So I think that's where we're at right now. Right now, again, I'm going to go back to Dr. Michael Mann, who is doing the monitoring of the CO2. This is done on Mauna Loa, and right now it's 800,000 years outside of its natural variability. Sea levels are rising, islands are going underwater, sea walls are being added, the ocean is being acidified, causing corals to die. Honey creepers, and this was another discussion that he had, and I thought it was fascinating. The honey creepers are a type of bird that are up in the top canopy of the jungle here in Hawaii. And previously, the honey creepers were unable to make it the mosquitoes, were unable to make it up into the top of the canopy because of the temperature in that part of the environment. Well, it's actually at a temperature now where the mosquitoes are getting up into the honey creeper habitat, and it is killing the honey creepers. So, you know, just to kind of get a feel for how serious this is, it is causing extinction of species. So one species leads to other species. So with that, I am going to go ahead and put down my the Wild Unknown Tarot, and I'm going to adjust my camera, and I'm going to just kind of look at. Okay, so what I'm going to do is this is going to be kind of a simple read. I'm not going to do an astrology today. I just really kind of wanted to get on and talk about the environment because it's such a serious issue, and you know, and I know that there are people, and I got to just check my camera to make sure that I can actually see the cards. So because I'm not a good cameraman or woman, okay, that looks good, and I'm going to go ahead and select 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm just going to do a very simple 5-card reading, Wild Unknown, and I'm going to cut 3 times, and I hope you'll be able to see it all. 1, 2, and 3, and this is very nice sitting out here. Okay, and then we start out with the 8 of Cups, looking over all the details and going, oh my goodness, what did I miss? I missed some details, and now I got problems. This is a relationship card. It's saying that the relationship to the environment it could use some looking at, and in addition to that, there's some things that are kind of broken about it, and we're in kind of in a funny space, and I would say all of the above. That is such an appropriate card. So we're starting off with an 8 of Broken Cups. Can't ask that. Oh, I'll just stick it that way. I can read these cards this way. Okay, Mother of Cups. Okay, yes, you know, she's here to say, yes, you know, it is more than over with, the opulence that we live by, you know, the fact that we think we can, you know, have a big old fancy car, you know. Oh, don't you just love those Hummers? I mean, really, during a time like this, with people driving around in big old gas hogs, imagine that. Okay, so we start off with the Mother of Cups, and then we go up, we go to the 10 of Wands. It's action, it's come and gone, and it's going to be, it's hefty action, actually. A 10 of Wands, you know, that energy of wow, you know, we can't continue this anymore. And you know, I can tell you, I've been on the island now. We're moving here. We moved here, And basically I have only been here a week and a couple of days, and I basically, I'm finding I have all kinds of things that I could talk about, think about for my videos. And my next one, I'm just going to go ahead and plug it because it's something that I'm going to be talking about. I got visited by a night marcher, which is a particular kind of spirit energy here on the island, which it was cause for concern. But I was told that this is an energy that's here to guide me and to help me adjust to my treatment and to what's coming for me. So, and I am getting ready on tomorrow, Monday, I start treatment so for the cancer, so which is good. Scary, but good. So we're going to just go ahead and we're going to use this table to its best ability. What we have as our anchor card is the Hanged Man. Right now, you know, for all of us, we're in a state of waiting it out and seeing what happens. You know, where is the environment taking us? What's going to become of us? You know, what's going to become of the land that we live on? And you know, it basically right now we're hung up. You know, it's not going anywhere exactly, but things are in a state of change because this is an action card. And this is a relationship card. It's saying that, you know, our relationship to this Eight of Cups is an issue. Okay, we need to look things over. We need to get clear about where we're at and what we're doing about our problem. And you know, I think this year in particular, you know, the rain event here has just been, you know, something to be seen. Now here we have the sun. You know, things are going to be revealed to us. We are going to, as time goes by, we're going to know, you know, what are our options, what are the best things to do, but we're going to have to take action. And you know, everything about this reading suggests that because this is a major arcana, so this card has some, you know, and so is this the Hanged Man. Okay, we're talking you know, the story is largely that we are going to have the way we've been doing things in the past. Some things are going to be revealed to us, and we're going to be looking back over it, wishing we had paid better attention. And on the bottom of that is it's going to cost us money, you know, which, boy, I have no doubt. And we are going to need to operate with temperance. We're going to have to be patient. Now, my husband and I, we were yesterday down looking, you know, kind of in an area because we're looking for where do we want to live on the island. We don't exactly know yet. You know, there's pluses and minuses all over the place to every location for sure. And so, you know, we're kind of thinking about it, talking about it, looking at our options. And one of the things that I was aware of, and I'm going to just go back to this card at the bottom of the pack, this Four of Pentacles, you know, that people who have their homes right on the beach, right, they've got seawalls up now, largely around their homes. And it doesn't take anything at all to understand those seawalls are not going to be all that helpful for all that long. So, you know, you're starting to see not only do they not have beaches anymore at their properties, but the water's right up against the seawall at low tide, you know, so things are really changing here. So, and unless you're on the ground and you're actually... Okay, so I had a little camera issue. I had my video card was full, and I was at this point where I was talking about the financial impacts. And personally, my husband and I, you know, have discussed it, and I don't feel safe even buying, you know, I'm not going to buy because I think that it creates an environment where it makes it very difficult for local people to actually have a place to live. And so I'm going to choose to live locally in an ohana that I rent from a local person. That is how I'm going to deal with it, because I want what I do to be fair and equitable, and that's as close as I think I can get to fair and equitable. But for the people here in Hawaii, the climate change for them, we're talking a lot of financial impacts. So imagine, you know, they're looking over their past or over their circumstances, and you know, it has to be frightening no matter who you are as you see the ocean levels rise and your real estate sits along that boundary. you can't be anything but mindful that this is actually taking place. And again, remember that when you have this Ten of Wands, okay, that means that it's already been decided. It's coming for us, you know, no matter what. The change is going to occur. What are we going to do? And this is really where we're at. We're going to be doing things not to progressively deal with it in a lot of ways. We're going to be doing a lot to react to it in many ways. And so, you know, what am I thinking? Well, higher elevation, folks, higher elevation, because, well, we are hung up, right? We're hung up because of our own doing. We've created a situation where, and again, I've already read these, but I'm just kind of going back over them because we had the major arcana, that sun and that hanged man. You know, always in a reading, your major arcana is going to be kind of your real pointer to what this story's really all about. And, you know, how we've treated the planet is about to be revealed to us in terms of what are the consequences, okay? Because, you know, if it's all about the you know, the one guy getting wealthy and the rest of us are suffering, I think the corporate game has run dry. I just do. And again, we're hung up. We're just in a state where it's not doable anymore. It's not going to pass the smell test for us any longer. And it probably shouldn't have passed the smell test as long as it has. I know myself, I'm thinking a whole lot differently on all sorts of levels. And with that, I'm going to put this up. I would ask that you please hit the like, share, and subscribe button. And please do join myself and my lovely co-reader. I'm sorry, I'm bouncing my table around and all kinds of good stuff. Hopefully someday I'll be a good videographer. But anyway, join myself and my lovely co-reader, Pearl Rowland, over on www.twiggie.com. And, you know, check us out. She is in the Astro Psychology program, the same program I'm in. We both read tarot. She does ceromancy and water, and we do numerology. We have several reports available on our website on twiggie.com. So, you know, go check us out. I think that there's no time like the present to kind of figure out what you can do to be a part of your solution. And isn't that what we're all being asked to do, is to look at ourselves and do our personal work? And with that, thank you for joining me here today.